Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again, joined by the man formerly known as Ringo J. Stefan the Don. We got a lot to get into on today's episode, man. Montez Sweat has some advice for the young quarterback of the Chicago Bears, which I think may all but be confirmed at this point, as it seems like Keenan Allen is going to be changing his number from 13, which is wild. I would have thought, Keenan Allen not giving that up. Tyler Scott, you got to fight for it. I'm not moving off because I need to check. But maybe, trying to bless Tyler Scott's pockets. Yeah. So, love it. It's all pointing toward Caleb is what I'm saying. And the best part about it, if you watch the interview with Montez Sweat, where he's on with Chris Long on the green line, dog, come on now. He basically just goes, y'all know who we drafting. I mean, but we can't say that. Yeah, I mean, we also got to talk about Bears-Packers. Is there a mental hurdle with Bears-Packers? And then is Jerry Reinsdorf closer to being the best or the worst owner in Chicago sports history? Heard this question on Waddle and Sylvie today and thought we should bring it here to the Breeze and debate it ourselves. All that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Ringo, what's good?
What's happening, man? What's happening, man? Ready to get into these topics, man.
I mean, listen, it's always a good day when you're sitting here just confirming things. If there's any, just start selling the jersey, bro. Just start selling his jersey. It's okay. You know what I mean? Like,
can they do that early?
Just start making them. Yeah, I mean, just have just put Williams on the back. They don't need to know what Williams it represents. You know how you do this? You sign another dude named Williams just to a vet minimum that also used to wear number 1. Then you get the jerseys out there. You cut that dude the second the season starts. You might as well just start making the money off of this, man, at this point, because I think it's all but guaranteed that we're going to see Caleb Williams here in a Bears jersey. I mean, they could make the pick now and phone in the rest of the draft, basically. Shout out to Crimson. Crimson said it's Crimson, you dig? He's got the new name on there. Brotherhood in the building. Raymond Bennett in the building. Shout out to y'all. Chop Jr. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. 65 in the building. Let's get them likes up on this mug,
man. Get them likes up. Let's do it.
Let's jump into this first topic, though, because I thought that this was very interesting. When I was listening to Montez Sweat having a conversation about, what is going to happen with this unknown rookie quarterback coming in. He was talking about winning over the locker room. And he said, you got to be yourself. Don't try and do it all overnight. Just stay humble. Don't try and do it all by yourself. You have a great group of guys around you. I talked with J-Mac on an upcoming episode of Chicago Bears podcast. We pre-recorded it today. It'll be out tomorrow. Jason McKee, former fullback for the Chicago Bears. Me and him had the conversation on what this means, basically. And it's just, don't come in and sit there and, I guess, right on the one side, don't come in beating your chest saying that you're the greatest to ever do it and you're going to fix the franchise. And on the other side, don't come in and be so timid. Just kind of do what you can. Find a way to win games. And the biggest thing comes from winning games. The biggest answers, the biggest way to win over the locker room is to start winning some games. Do you think that it's going to be difficult, though, when you add in a quarterback like Caleb Williams, who, I mean, listen, he doesn't lack confidence. I'm not mad at him for it, but he does not lack confidence at all.
I mean, I think country quarterback to be confident. I think the thing is, I mean, it's just like, Montez Sweat, Montez said today, right? Like, you don't have to come in being Superman. Like, all the things that he did at USC, like, I was talking about it with Calvin when we were first going back and forth about this topic. Like, he had to play perfect at USC for them to win. He just had to, because it was going to be a straight up back and forth. It's just like Montez Sweat. Montez said today, like, with the weapons that Paul just put around him, you have the guys. You have Keenan Allen. You have DJ Moore. You got DeAndre Swift. For that matter, you got Kokomet. You don't have to do everything in a day. Now I do feel like they're gonna have to dial it back some, but I feel like coming in, and then also we have to take into account. Listen, he's had the dinner with the team, even though we felt like it was a bit unorthodox, right? He's had the dinner with the team. Those are conversations that I feel probably already had. So they're gonna have to dial him back a little bit, but he comes in understanding, like, hey, this situation that you got right now, this is unprecedented for anybody, even including a number one pick, because we've never actually seen this before. I feel like I feel like he knows that, and he's gonna come in day one and follow suit.
Yeah, I think you have to kind of balance that mindset of, and this is the thing that I compared it to when Shaq came in,
Mhm.
right? Shaq was the number one overall pick. He said, "I'm not carrying y'all bags. I'm not going to get donuts. I'm not doing it because I'm here to change the franchise." You have to kind of balance that part of being a rookie out, where
Mhm.
yeah, you do got to do some of those things. You do have to put yourself in the ingratiate yourself to the guy's role, but at the same time, you got to come in and be a 24-year-old, 23-year-old leader of this team. You have to come in and immediately set a tone, because this is a team that's already in motion. This is a team that's already moving in the right direction. They finished off last season feeling like they were doing a lot of things really, really well, right? So you have to sit there and find a way to actually go out there and fit yourself into the situation that's there, be at the head of it, and now start giving the commands. Now all of a sudden you're coming into a leadership situation that you possibly were in a you weren't in maybe at USC, because you were already in place. You were already the figurehead. Everybody was already looking to you. Now, maybe because of the transferring in, a lot of the things that he went through there, right? You see him kind of fit in with that. But I'll tell you this about this young man. He does not lack confidence. He does not lack ability, and I think he knows all of those things. And my favorite thing about him right now is he is willing to go at it with anybody who has a problem with who he is as a person, who he is as a man, what he stands for, all of that. Did you see him on Twitter today, dog?
Uh,
Oh, your mic is tweaking right now. I was like,
it,
dude,
it's tweaking.
yeah, you sound like you coming through on a
Hold
Nokia
on, yeah. Let me
2007 right
let
now.
me go ahead and switch that over right quick.
Yeah, let's see if we can fix this mug, dog. Let's see if we can fix this mug. But no, I thought on Twitter today, man, just seeing him so willing to just be like, hey, bro, y'all sitting here talking about. I want to see. It was a podcast that ended up going at him, and basically what his rebuttal was. Let me see if I can find this here. Here it is. So they basically go out. Oh, I thought they deleted their original tweet, and talk about how they're concerned that he's never experienced adversity. He's never gone through anything. He's not He hasn't struggled, and so you don't know
Now,
if it's going to be the same thing. All right, you sound good now. You
all
sound
right,
good now.
there we go, there we go.
We'll see. We'll see if it stays right. It's like it keep getting like a static or something, like it might be the soundboard. I don't know. We'll see. But Caleb tweeting back at these mugs saying, "Let's go back to school again because I'm bored right now. Adversity, a state of instance or of serious or continued difficulty or misfortune. Year one, didn't start freshman year. Year two, popped my hammy in the championship game, first quarter, lost because of my hammy. Year three, 7-5, my last year of college ball." Basically saying, y'all are sitting here trying to say things on my character, and you're not actually taking into account anything that has happened around me. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, dog. He got some teeth on him, bro. This bear got some teeth on him. Like he is willing to go out there and have the back and forth. He is willing to go out there and have the debates, and he's willing to go out there and stand up for himself. You're going to need that as you come into the locker room, as you become a leader of this Chicago Bears team. And I like the fact that he does have that in him already.
Listen, that's definitely something that you're gonna need day one, because I mean this team eventually, when you get down to it, the things that we talk about with a let with the Patrick Mahomes, with the Lamar Jackson, with a Joe Burrow, of that matter, with a Jalen Hurts, like when these guys get into tough situations like that, they're never rattled. They're always calm. Like, oh, we down three. Fine, let's go. Fine, let's go get seven. Like, I trust my guys. I trust my boys. And it's always, even with that statement that you just made, right? There's always context uh to certain situations. I mean, he's always looked out for his offensive line. Like even in that matter, he's shown that he can be a selfless guy, showing that he puts others first. And listen, you're going to be able to need that. Cause some of these guys, I mean, especially Kennan's getting older. That offense is gonna need those guys. I mean, Montez Sweat literally just got done, saying in the interview, like he doesn't believe in a rah-rah guy. But hey,
Yeah, he's gonna
you're
lead
gonna
by action
need
type of
some of
guy.
those guys to put that battery in that back. So hey, these are all pluses in my book. And this is again something that Ryan Poles has probably checked off his list when it comes to what type of guy are we getting. Is he gonna have that chops is he gonna have those chops in the locker room to stand up for himself? Because you're coming into a situation where, hey, Justin Fields just left this locker room. They're talking about this dude's the culture. Now, what are you gonna do to set your expectations or put your footprint into this locker room?
No, 100%. I think that when you talk about a leader, by the way, over 100 in the chat.
100.
Big hundreds over
Big
here, man. We
100.
also live over on Twitter as well to their X's. I mean, I like calling it Twitter. I still call it the Sears Tower. I'm not calling it the Willis Tower. Got about 40, 50 people over on Twitter. So shout out to that as well, man. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, showing love. But no, I look at the situation that Caleb Williams is being thrust into right now, and I see him as a guy who is not running from the pressure. He's not running from the fact that he's going to be, and not to say Justin Fields did at any point, right? I think Justin Fields felt the expectation, knew what he wanted to do, wanted to go out there and become this elite quarterback for the Chicago Bears as well. It just didn't end up working out here, unfortunately, because of the time frame, because of the money and all of that stuff. But Caleb Williams is not hiding from the pressure. And that's the thing when you talk about the advice that Montez Sweat is giving him. Don't sit there and think that you have to do this all on your own. You don't have to you don't have to deal with the pressure of being the number one overall pick. You don't have to deal with the pressure of going out there and making your imprint and becoming what I have said he should be able to do, because it's a low bar at this point, becoming the best quarterback in Chicago Bears history. I think that Montez Sweat basically telling them, listen, you got a team of dogs around you that are willing to help you. As long as you're willing to utilize that team, they got your back. And I think we saw that with Justin. We saw a team that never stopped fighting for Justin Fields. We saw a team that down to the end said, no, I want him to be my quarterback. I don't want you to trade him away. I don't want you to get rid of him. I think that he's the one that can lead us to the promised land. And the Bears said, we don't believe that. They move on. That sucks. Boom. But now Caleb Williams coming into this situation, if you can win these guys over, if you can get these guys on your side, it starts by winning games. Let's be honest, right?
Oh, yeah,
Training camp, all that
absolutely.
stuff, you got to go out there and do stuff. But if you go out there and you win games and you prove to this team that you're a leader, you're the guy that's going to take them to where they want to go, you're the guy that's going to put you in the best position to win games, you got a team of guys here in Chicago that is a close-knit unit, is a group of guys that is willing to have your back. And I think for that reason, when you sit there and talk about, the pressure being on this young man year one, I think it's all, is there going to be pressure? For sure. Is there going to be pressure from fans for him to be successful? For sure. Are they going to go at him when he has some down moments in his rookie year? 100%. But you've got a team that's going to be willing to sit there and help you take the darts, help you take the daggers. And I think that's something that when you look at this young man, that it just makes his journey it's another reason why I think his journey into the NFL should be easier.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely looking at it, and I agree with everything you said. It's like you have to be able to, and again, I talked about this. They have to be able to, um, you know, put feelings aside and rally around this dude. I mean, even shout out for Chris Long for asking him the question about how we felt about Justin Fields. And look, Montez basically said, "Yo, business is business."
Yeah.
Business is business.
And this
But
is
I
business.
mean, he comes in, and you see, like, if the leader on the defense, and one of the leaders on the defense is talking like that, you can understand how the offense is gonna feel when they finally get into these games. Because listen, it's not just gonna be on Caleb to go out and win these games. It's going to be on the whole team because, hey, jobs are on the line. So it's just everybody's going to be feeling that pressure. And to know that, hey, I got a group of dogs with me. I look to my left, I got Kenan. I look to my right, I got DJ Moore. On the other side, I got Montez Sweat and Jalen Johnson.
Yeah.
He's going to be ready to rock. And he sounds like he's going to be ready to rock. He's not running from that pressure.
Shout out to King Booker World. He said, I just want the offense not to look like a chore. That comes with it too, right?
Yeah.
That comes with it too. Like that is it's always been an uphill battle, a fight to try and figure out how to get this offense moving in the right direction. The biggest thing that you can do is to make this young man feel comfortable for that not to sit there and be the outcome, or that not to sit there and be the case. Like I think that is the biggest thing that you can do as a GM to try and make your quarterback's life easy as he comes in to the NFL. You got to sit there and say, listen, he's got not only just a great group of leaders around him. I think when you talk about leaders, you talk about Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. These are guys who lead. Keenan Allen more vocal, DJ Moore more of a I'm about that action type of guy. You got DeAndre Swift in there, makes his life a heck of a lot easier. Cole Kmet's in there. He's a guy that's been ascending. You like, and he's a nice safety blanket. Gerald Everett's been in the system already. You're doing all these things to make this guy's life easy, but just right when you're on top of that, you've got a group of players who's willing to come in here and say, the Rook's got to prove himself to us, but if he proves himself, we're going to have his back. I think that does make a big difference in the offense moving smoothly and all of those things happening, man. And if y'all haven't done so, over 100 in this mug, 25 likes on the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. Leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. We're going to keep this thing moving along. Thought that was some really good advice for the young QB coming in. And now we know he's pretty much all but coming here at this point, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like... You got Keenan Allen changing to 15, which, hey, I'm here for. My favorite number is 15. I wear 15 with everything. Shout out to Keenan Allen for picking an amazing number. Let's hope that it finally works out. Haven't had a lot of good 15s in Chicago lately. At all. I think,
B. Marsh?
B. Marsh is a long time ago, dog. That's over a decade ago.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, like, I haven't had great 15s. The Chandler Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Chandler Hutchinson is the
no.
It's been tough. Yeah, I mean,
another man's trash, bro.
That man got booty immediately. Baki said, Pat, that account was fake, so we don't know Keenan's number yet. Okay. Hey, Baki says so. I thought 15 was I don't know. I trust Baki on that one.
Somebody gonna get that bread up either way.
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna be Tyler Scott.
Yeah, he gonna pay. Yeah,
I think he'll let him at it.
Yeah.
Hey, let's keep this thing moving along, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Something else that I found interesting that Montez said in this interview.
Simons. I forgot about John Simons too.
Jesus Christ, that's still over a decade ago, guys.
Yeah.
That's still over a decade ago.
Not good.
No, but something else that I thought that Keenan Allen, I got Keenan Allen on the brain, that Montez Sweat brought up in the Chris Long interview that I thought was very interesting, and that I think that maybe a lot of Bears fans have overlooked at this point because we've been kind of resigned to our fate. But that Bears versus Packers mental hurdle, is that something that we need to see the Bears overcome? Not just for our own sanity, right? I think as Bears fans, we're ready to hurt people when we don't see the Chicago Bears beat the Green Bay Packers. It's like, okay, we could have lost all these games, but y'all lost to them. Y'all could have lost these 2 games, but y'all picked those 2 to win. But has it become a mental hurdle for the Bears? Is it something that is literally holding the team back from achieving more? And the reason I say that is when you look at the time when we end up going to the Super Bowl, right? That season before, right before that, You end up beating Green Bay, or you end up going to Green Bay. You should have beat Green Bay. Don't end up coming away with the win in that. And then you start off the next year by dominating Brett Favre. All of a sudden, it's like this belief is there. Boom, we know what kind of team we are. Here we go. We're down the road. All of a sudden, not to say beating the Packers put them in the Super Bowl, but it's almost like there was a mental hurdle that was jumped that if we can beat them, we can beat everybody. And it's so interesting because sometimes teams just have your number. Sometimes teams just, you look at them and you go, you should be able to beat them. You match up well against them. Everything's lined up for you, and you find a way to lose that game. Is the mental hurdle of beating the Green Bay Packers holding the Chicago Bears back from possibly becoming the team that most people hope that they can be?
I think now, especially with this year, it could be. I mean, if you think about it, look, I mean, everybody in the NFC North, I mean, that's pretty much the team that you're chasing, right? I mean, they're the youngest. They're the youngest team in the league. I mean, still, Jordan Love is on an uprise. I mean, they by all accounts have a good defense. Good defense.
They
Good
couldn't
defense.
figure out how to make the defense
Good,
work,
good
but
pieces.
they got good players over
yeah,
there.
they got
better.
good pieces on defense. They got great players on defense, but it's always like they know how to go out and make the plays. Like it's almost to a point where, I mean, even when he said like, yeah, I think Chris Long brought up, yeah, so what's the goal? Like, yeah, everybody's trying to win the Super Bowl. We're trying to win the division. Like, and then Montez was like, yo, I'm not trying to lose to the Packers. I'm tired of hearing you say it.
Yeah.
And you could say it until you're blue in the face. I just think it's definitely gonna be a mental hurdle, but I feel like if they come out in that first game that they play against them and do that with the season that we expect the Packers to have after what they just came off of, I think that'll be the mental jump that they're looking for, because that's the team that they have to pass if they even want to win the division. So,
and I think that that's the interesting part of all of this, right? It's not that. Here's the thing: if you want to win a division and you lose twice to the Packers, mathematically, you can win a division.
yeah.
You can still go 4-2 in the division. You shouldn't. It's not that it shouldn't be that big of a hurdle, but it's almost as if it's something that literally holds the Bears down, right? And so for me, I can see the logic of, okay, you lost to the Packers, but you can go out there and beat everybody else. The Vikings are a very beatable team. You seem like you have the Lions number. You were dominating them for 7 3/4 basically of 8 quarters of football last season, and you found a way to lose one of those games in that 3 3/4 game, right? But it's almost like when this team talks about the Packers, and I think this is the part that irritates me the most, and like the video if you agree, is that we see the words of the players sometimes say what we want to hear. My thing is the fact that you're not mentally getting up for the action something that is holding you back? Because I'll tell you this, and I think this is why it actually is a hurdle to beat the Packers. Rewatch those Packers games last year. I've watched each one of them at least 4 times. It sucks. But rewatch those Packers games from last year. And you tell me which team took that as the Green Bay versus Chicago Bears rivalry. You tell me which team put in the extra work during the week. You tell me which team cared about the Chicago Bears or the Green Bay Packers coming out victorious. You tell me which team studied twice as hard. You tell me which team, because it's not the team that's down in the series. It's not the team that's been getting their butts kicked since Aaron Rodgers came into the league. It's not that team. And I think that is where, to me, the mental hurdle comes in. It's the You've got a team that's willing to out-prepare you, and they're up so far, you can't even call it a rivalry anymore. They're up so much in the Bears versus Packers standings over the last 20 years that you can't even call it a rivalry anymore. And you're the team that's down. That to me is the part that is the mental hurdle, that is the mental exercise, that is what the Chicago Bears need to overcome. Because if you've got teams right now, and I think this starts with Flus. I think that listen,
Oh,
I love the
absolutely.
fade. I love the beard. I love everything that Flus has going on coming into this season. His wife told him, get fresh. This man said, I bet. Let me go in there. I'm going to get the number 2 on this mug. Flip the hair. We coming out different this year. He basically just need a sword to be pulled out his back. And this man going, this is Sparta. I'm here for all of it. But for the love of God, stop saying we're preparing like this is another game. This is not another game. And your team goes out there and plays like this is another game. And the team that you are supposed to beat doesn't. And that goes back to the thought process that I had on Flus for a good chunk of last year, where he just wants to be good enough. He doesn't want to be great. I want to do enough to beat you. I don't want to kill you. Bearded Flus, I need stabbing that sword in and twisting the handle.
Oh yeah, you can't be out here fresh and then not follow up with the dub. I mean, you're absolutely right about that. And the crazy part again, just going back to everybody getting, introduced. Not introduced. They basically, asked about, what they were looking for in the coaching staff and everything like that. What did Kevin Warren? I'm going back to what Kevin Warren said. Basically, tired of being patient. I'm impatient. He wanted to see something now. That at some point that got to trickle down to the coach. Like the wild part is this: the fact that you coming in talking like this is just another game, and your top priority is not okay. Not only should we be winning the division, but we need to beat the Packers. You know what? It is wild to me. Like, and it's just like you were saying, right? Like, they're the ones that are over preparing. Those are the guys that are studying. Those are the guys that's, hey, we're gonna come early. We gonna stay late. Aaron Rodgers is texting Jordan Love on the side talking about some, hey, way to keep it going. Up. Like, bro, and like you could tell like they're mentally preparing for this, even after Aaron Rodgers left.
Yeah.
Even after Aaron Rodgers left, like they know the assignment, and the fact that you don't and you keep saying, oh yeah, we're gonna do this, brother, that just make me think of somebody that, like, you in school, you finna get ready to fight, you up here telling your friends, oh yeah, 3 o'clock I'm finna go, he go outside, you turn around and it's, oh, I'm not prepared for this. Like,
yeah. I needed y'all here just in case I needed help in the fight.
Like, nah,
I mean?
it's whack. Like, they gotta get it together, because if you gonna achieve your goals, that's the team that you gotta leapfrog to get to where you want to go.
I think that's the thing too, right? When you sit there and you're talking about overcoming, when you're talking about finally slaying the beast, I don't think the beast is Aaron Rodgers. And for years I think we thought it was, right? The beast is Aaron Rodgers. I think the beast at this point is the mental hurdle that the Bears have placed on themselves. And I think Baki said it best. Baki was talking about Lovey's 3 goals every year as the Bears head coach was double-digit wins, winning the division, and beating Green Bay. I want y'all to go back and listen to Lovie Smith press conferences. They sound like Flus. They really do. He said nothing. He literally gave you nothing in every single press conference. He would sit there and just be, I'm just, hey, feels good. Hope to see it. We're going to go out here. Rex Grossman's our quarterback. Hey, told you nothing until Packer week. Lovey, what are your thoughts on the preparation that you need to see from your team this week? Everybody out there knows what week this is. Everybody out there knows what they're doing over there. We know what we're doing over here, and we're gonna ramp it all up. And Jason talked about that today tomorrow on the Bears podcast. Tune in with tomorrow's episode. You know what I mean? Like it's It's different when your leader sets the tone. When your leader sets the tone of let's do enough to get the job done, you do enough to get the job done. When your leader sets the tone of no, it's a priority that we slay this beast. It's a priority that we find a way to come away with a win in this game. It's a priority that we figure out how to finally overcome what they're doing over there. And we're going to work twice as hard because we know they're going to work twice as hard. In fact, we're going to work 3 times as hard because we know they're going to work twice as hard. Then it sets the standard for your team moving forward. And last year was more important more than anything because you came out just looking completely unprepared.
Yeah.
Samurai J, what's good, baby?
Over 200
like
in the chat.
subscribe to the page.
Over 200.
We're not over 200 on the YouTube side. We got the Twitter in this mud. We got a bunch of muds in there. We got Twitch in this mud. We over 200 in totality, but we're not over 200 on the YouTube side
totality.
yet. So, totality.
Yeah, nah. When I look at it, and then it's like, I mean, just go across the league. Just go across the league and look at the other rivalries. Like, look at Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. Like you trying to tell me both teams didn't get up for those games? I mean, even now, just look at it. Like the Bengals could lose every game. Oh, Patrick Mahomes coming to town. Oh, we know what time that is.
Yeah,
we know what time that is. Cause I already know. Cause I think they said it a couple years back. I don't got to worry about 9. I don't got to worry about Joe Burrow. I don't got to worry about Joe Burrow because I already know Joe Burrow's gonna bring his best game.
Yeah,
like. All of these teams are prepared. How come you're not? How come you're not? And then, even if you want to take it back just as recently, the Bills, whole lot of rah-rah, whole week. Oh man, Patrick Mahomes ain't never had an away playoff game.
Yeah.
Bring him to the Bills Stadium. Oh, they're working twice as hard. We working 4 times as hard.
Yeah.
They said what? Watch this.
Yeah.
And what happened?
And I think
you got to be ready for those games. The team got to be ready for those games.
And I think that's what comes with the confidence level too, right? I think that's the part that Chicago's not used to. That we honestly we should be used to it. We just haven't seen it in a long time. But where you see a star come in with the confidence of a star, right? You look at Pat Mahomes and that quarterback, the quarterback Netflix series, right?
Yeah,
and. I mean, if you wanted to, you could call him cocky, but I call it confident. Pat Mahomes believes that he's going to go out there and he's going to win every game. He believes that he gives his team a chance to go out there and win every game. Chicago needs some of that. And the one thing about Caleb that I'll say after sitting down and listening to more of the few interviews that he did have, but hearing him talk in his Heisman speech and stuff like that and doing some deeper dives into this young man, he's confident. He brings a star's confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And you need that in this locker room because I think you got a lot of dogs on this team.
Yeah.
But do you got stars?
Yeah.
Maybe Keenan Allen is a star right now. You got some dogs, but do you got stars? Montez Sweat, I mean, he's a leader by action, but can we really say he's a star? He's been in Washington this entire time. Right, like that's a forgotten place to be because you've lost so much.
The fact that he was going out saying like, yeah, when teams asked who I played for, I was embarrassed to say the Commanders. They'll tell you all you need to know.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah,
and so I think that to me is like when you get a star mindset in here. Now he's still got to go in. He's still got to go out there and perform on the field. He's still got to go out there and show you that he can back up the confidence that he has. But that mindset is infectious. That mindset that's Jordan, and I think that's why it's so interesting, right? Because it's like, for so many of us, we're not used to the young guy being the star already, right?
Yeah.
He comes in with his star already on his chest. Now he's just got to build an NFL one. But Michael Jordan came in. Michael Jordan was amazing, but they never won. They would win regular season games, but they weren't able to go out there and win playoff series or playoff games, right? But Mike was confident, and Mike would have everybody around you believing, oh, snap, this dude here. Yeah, we got a chance with him. We got a chance with that young guy. But we saw Mike do the work, and so we're like, he worked hard to get there. He had to lift weights versus Detroit. He was lifting weights the whole time. He had to lift weights versus Detroit to finally be strong enough to get over that, right? You think about Jimmy Butler becoming a star here, right? And so like all of a sudden, when Jimmy Butler was working hard and fighting through it, it was, oh, Jimmy, he's a hard worker. And then when he finally realized, oh, I'm a star in this league, then it was like, oh, he didn't got a little cocky. His head didn't got a little big. I don't know about this one. We've lost him. You think about
coach because I asked you to coach me harder.
Right. You know what I mean? I think about guys like Jim McMahon. I think about guys like Walter Payton that walked on the field and they knew what their star was. Now, Jim's smaller than Walter's, but y'all know what I'm saying. Jim came in with confidence.
Yeah.
Like that is something that we haven't had in Chicago in a long time. And it's something we honestly shy away from. It's something we honestly don't try to go towards because we feel like the superstar is too high up. What do we always say? We don't want the wide receiver that's a diva. We don't want the quarterback that's not humble. We don't want the cocky players. You know what the cocky players usually have in common? They're good. They're usually good players. They usually play pretty well.
Yeah, it's so different because I was looking at The Last Dance the other day, and I got to that section when he's talking about Scott Burrell, and then even to go back a little bit, further than that, when they was talking about Jordan and getting over the hump against the Pistons, he was already where he needed to be mentally. He's like, yo, I got to make this infectious enough. Like, I got to bring Pip up. Like, Pip need to be that dude. If I get Pip in line, that means Horace is going to follow it.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. And you kind of seen that.
So and that's where the confidence and the leadership come in. You got to be able to do both.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, and he said it point blank. Listen, some of y'all like it, but that's because y'all ain't won nothing.
Hey, right.
That's because y'all ain't won nothing. It has to be a certain type of balance on that team, and I feel like they're gonna have that. And to that point, Caleb is gonna be able to talk that talk and eventually walk that walk because he knows he's got those guys behind him. You gotta also
listen. That's your fight point is great too. It's a lot easier to go on a fight that's supposed to be one-on-one when you know you got 6 of your boys behind.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hey, if I turn around and I got Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift, Montez Sweat, Jalen Johnson, DJ Moore, Gerald Everett, Cole Kmet, throw Roshan Johnson in there. Yeah, I mean, he might get a little jab on the side, right? But I got when you got some blue chip pieces behind you, it's a lot more easy to be confident and cocky. So hopefully we get the most out of them. I love this comment from Steve-O. He said Jamarcus Russell was confident too. Still is, bro. He said, hey, when you say bust, you better put biggest on that mug.
Hey, man. He was confident he got that check.
Bro.
He was confident. He was confident in that McDonald's order too.
I'll never forget. They said they sent that man that tape, and he straight up had not watched none of the tape. He said, hey, that tape was blank, bro. That mug said, yeah, I like this play. I think we could attack this coverage with this, and we can make this move. They said that man ain't watched no tape, boy. And then they sent somebody. Was it him too? They sent him the playbook. And was he the one that lied beforehand? Because it was $100 in all the playbooks.
Oh yeah.
Was that him that he lied beforehand?
Yeah.
And he said,
I think that was him.
He didn't find the 100, or he tried to play it off like he had seen the 100. He's like, y'all know I forgot about that. I wasn't even thinking about $100. But no, man, I think that the Bears. Listen, you've got a piece on this team that you've got a young man coming into this team that is a hungry team. And I think when you have a young man with confidence and you have a hungry team, it speaks to finally overcoming some of the demons that you've had in your past. And the biggest demon right now for the Chicago Bears is that Green Bay Packers rivalry. We put a poll up. Is the Chicago Bears beating the Packers a must for them to be successful? 83% of the audience that is voted right now saying yes, 17% saying no. And here's the thing. I get the 17% too. Because here's the thing. If I play every other game and I find a way to beat the Vikings twice, the Lions once, you lose both. Or I'm sorry, I beat the Vikings twice, I beat the Lions twice, and you lose both to the Packers. I won the division. I got to win the rest of my stuff, but I won the division. I got to win the rest of my games, but I can beat my division. I understand why people say no, but I think that this is not a football issue. I think this is a Bears issue. I think this is a Chicago issue. I think that this is this is just the monkey that's on their back, and they got to find a way to shake it this year. Like football-wise, how many times have we looked at it and we was like, listen, we got this. This should work for us. We should be able to do this. We should be able to make this thing work. If we're going to be successful, these things should work. How many times have we done that? And then we get into the game and we're just like, what happened to all the stuff that you just did? You just beat this team doing all that. What happened to all of that? Like, this is a deeper issue than just the Bears players playing the Packers players. This is a mental hurdle that if this team can overcome it this year, I think sky could be the limit for them. I'm not saying they're going to go win the Super Bowl, but I think you're talking about a team that gains a tremendous amount of confidence in the quarterback that they have and a tremendous amount of confidence in the fact that we finally beat them. We can go out there and beat anybody. Like the video if you agree. Subscribe to the page. We're going to keep this thing moving along, man, because we got to spend a little bit of time slandering. I don't know if I'm going to call it slander. He deserves all of it. It might still be slander, but he deserves it for sure. Hit that like button, man. Appreciate y'all. We got to start up another poll here because pause. That's crazy.
No, I'll allow it.
I'll allow it. Because I think that this is such an interesting question when you talk about the history of Chicago. There's one man that has been a part of Chicago history since 1984, and that is Jerry Reinsdorf. He is currently the owner of the Chicago Bulls and the Chicago White Sox. Both teams have had woeful struggles at times during his tenure here. He bought the White Sox in 1983. He bought the Bulls in 1987, I believe. He bought the Bulls 3 years after that. And in his time as the Bulls owner. No, it can't be because he drafted Michael in 84. So he bought the Sox in 81, I believe. And he bought the Bulls in 83, something like that. Is Jerry Reinsdorf closer to being the
1985.
Best? 85, he bought the Bulls.
85.
Okay. Is Jerry Reinsdorf closer to being the best owner in Chicago sports history or the worst owner in Chicago sports history? And the reason I bring this question up, heard it
1981 for the Sox.
Yeah. Heard this on Wild and Sylvie today, and I thought that it was an interesting question when pertaining to the teams because Jerry's teams have seen tremendous success. He's got 7 championships. He has 7 championships. But when you look over the last 24 years in sports, you're talking about, first off, the White Sox since 83. You're talking about him being probably one of the worst owners in baseball that you've ever seen. Because I think we've been to the playoffs 5 times. everybody in this chat, unless you're under the age of like 15, has seen all of the Chicago White Sox playoff wins.
Joe Creedy.
You saw them all in 1 year. You literally saw them all in 1 year. 2005 are all of the playoff wins the Chicago White Sox have, or playoff series wins, I should say, that he has owned the team for. Now, on the flip side of this, in the 90s, the White Sox were a good team. They didn't win championships or anything like that, but a good team. But when you look at the Chicago Bulls in the 90s, tremendous amount of success. But realistically, that success came because the Portland Trail Blazers decided to go with Sam Bowie instead of Michael Jordan. If they don't do that, you probably end up with Sam Bowie. So you lucked into MJ because of a crazy decision, which I guess ain't crazy. And it does take a little bit of luck to be successful. But since then, the Bulls have been relevant. And I'm talking about championship level relevant once. In 24 years, you've been competing, contending level relevant once.
Like for one, you mean like for one season or just?
Yeah. The 1 year where the Bulls went to the ECF. Where would you side on that?
Yeah, no, I would probably say the worst. It got to be the worst. Like I need y'all to understand something, because correct me if I'm wrong, but like Andrew Benintendi got the richest deal in White Sox history, right? It's like,
yes, he did.
It's like $88 billion.
Still has not spent 100. But you know what? I think that's an issue as well, because it's being okay with mediocrity. There's a bunch of teams in baseball that don't spend money. 2 of them have won championships.
Oh yeah.
Tampa Bay don't spend money.
Yeah.
They got 2 rings.
Bro, Tampa Bay is the Yankees. Just the low budget Yankees, bro.
That's a long way away, though. A low budget Yankees mean that you basically are getting the bottom barrel players and figuring it out.
I mean, the pitching staff is elite. What? I mean, I don't really. I don't know about the hit. Like, I know they had an elite pitching staff. I mean, shoot. But
I think you got to look at some of the other owners in the city too, right? Because it's also an ability to adapt and to change with the times, and to kind of to not sit there and worry about ruffling feathers, right? I think the 90s worked because you found the right player that worked with it. You found the best player arguably in basketball history. And you were so loyal to everybody that was a part of that it's like, we're going to be loyal to Michael. We're going to be loyal to Scotty. We're going to be loyal to Phil, all until it didn't work for you anymore. You know what I mean? Like that. I think that's why when you hit on something like that, that works. But when you're talking about coming into the 2000s and you're still keeping that same mentality, I think you got to look at the Blackhawks as arguably the best franchise,
bro. The Blackhawks
in the city, and maybe that's recency bias because they've done it the most recent outside of the Cubs. But like when you talk about the dynasty runs, losing major pieces off of that dynasty because of how the cap is, being able to add new pieces in, realizing we're past our time, we got to blow this thing up, and now you've got the best player in the NHL again, or the best rookie in the NHL again. That's how you run a franchise. That's how I want to see a franchise run.
Yeah, it's literally just about changing with the times, and he has yet to fully adapt to that. I mean, even if you go across any other sport, Nick Saban retired. What happened? Okay, I don't like the transfer portal. John Calipari, let's go to Arkansas, Kentucky. Yeah, the one and done thing ain't working. Like you have to be able to change, because the old way of doing things, while yes, it was great, you might have got, 5 chips here, or you might have been relevant for this many years. It's not gonna be able to work. He has stand pat, and now like he's like was beating his chest because, like I said, you paid Andrew Benintendi $88 million, and was like, yeah, that's gonna get him. Now you let them let go of Dylan Cease, and Garrett Crochet is nice.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just like even going back, just like a couple years, like I fully believe. I told you this, like when they had TA, Jose, and that pitching, like that bullpen that was coming in, they had all the ingredients to at least go to the ALCS, bro. At least go to the LCS, and you haven't changed anything. Oh, we need new managers. Let's go get somebody that's literally.
The White Sox literally don't have a leg to stand on in any of this, right? Like that is the epitome crazy of being you exist in a league because you were a part of it for so long. Like they're literally the epitome of that. The only reason the White Sox are still the Chicago White Sox is because they've been the Chicago White Sox, or they were the White Stockings, since the 1800s. It's the only reason. Pack them up, move them out. I don't care. I won't miss them. But I'll ask this: does 10 years, as dominant as the 10 years was, does 10 years of dominance, and it's a full 10 years, I'm saying Eastern Conference Finals to you, if you lost at the Eastern Conference Finals, you had a good enough team to be just under an NBA Finals champion, and they had some battles and ended up losing in the Eastern Conference Finals. You had 10 years of dominance, and then this is what you've done since then. Since Michael Jordan has left Chicago, since the greatest player in basketball history has left Chicago, 13 wins, 17 wins, 15 wins, 21 wins, 30 wins, 23 wins, 47 wins. They had a hot season. I remember that, very fun season. I enjoyed the mess out of it. You lost in the first round. 41 wins. Fun season, competitive, baby Bulls. There we go. You lost in the first round. 49 wins, big pop up. You lost in the Eastern Conference semifinals. 33 wins, 41 wins. Now we're getting Derrick Rose, lost in the first round. 2009, 2010, 41 and 41, lost in the first round. 2011, you go to the Eastern Conference Finals. So maybe we can say there's 11 great seasons in his history. Then you got first round loss, semifinal loss, first round loss, semifinal loss, 42 win team, 41 win team, first round loss, 27, 22, 22, 31, 46, lost in the first round. That's DeMar DeRozan, 40 and 37. Does 10 years of greatness, in which you won in 6 of those years, make up for what I would say is the other 23 years of incompetence?
No.
Some of the greatest seasons in baseball history, or in basketball history. There's some of the greatest seasons in basketball history.
Those are some of the greatest seasons in basketball history, but you out here building pop-up shops. You out here building you got pop-up shops out here, bro. Like,
I love Kid. He's like, it's a 33% win percentage, but 6 banners.
I mean, like, I don't know, man. It's like,
I'm scared to look at the White Sox guys. Like, y'all gotta understand. Like the White Sox is worse because there's literally 1 year. Okay, so everybody saw 2005. There you go.
Yeah.
That's your year of success. Since he's on this baseball team, that's your year of success.
Oh,
you've gone to the playoffs 7 times. By the way, 2 of those times are with Tim Anderson.
that second time they had all the ingredients to go all the way. I'm still mad about that. That team was nice. That team was put together nice, bro.
Yes,
I
yes,
don't
it
get
does.
it.
Every season would give up everything to have Mike associated with it. I agree with that. I'm not saying that you're wrong. Kids said that they have multiple 80-win seasons, though. That should matter. 80 wins is, hey, talk about being competitive, my boy. Solid
Hey,
competitive team, bro. I agree with you. I'm not sitting here saying, because here's the thing, I can see why, because of his successes, he is who he is. He's a Hall of Famer in basketball for sure. You can't say he's not. You can't. But he hasn't cared about the team seemingly for 20 years, 20 plus years. He hasn't cared about investing in the team since the 90s ended. And his reasoning is, if you give me a team worth investing in, I'll invest in it. Put some money behind the team and maybe you'll get a team worth investing in.
I still I thank y'all every day or every time Jimmy Butler takes us on one of those playoff runs. I really do.
Well,
Just,
that ain't on us at this point. I mean, that's a Timberwolves thing now. We gave him to the T-Wolves. Giving them to the T-Wolves.
it's still on y'all.
I don't know about that. I don't know
It's
about
still
that.
on y'all.
I don't know if that falls on in our jurisdiction anymore. Once we give you up, you're gone. I mean, that's like we were talking about in the chat today. We were talking about basketball in the chat. Yeah, I mean, basketball. And I gave up some developmental pieces.
I man, Muggs needs to start checking the waiver wire, bro.
Sometimes you gotta check the waiver wire.
Check the waiver wire.
I don't know, man. Like,
a good 3-4 games. Yeah.
It's I wish I knew what we were talking about. But it's just so interesting to me because, like, it's hard to think that somebody who has had as much success as Jerry Reinsdorf has had, that we can sit here and talk about him in the 2000s as being a joke of an owner. As having, and here's the thing, Rocky Wirtz was kind of the same way before his son ended up taking over, right? Like, there was some dominant years there with the Wirtz family, and then there was not. They had some very competitive teams, and they had some horrible teams. You got 20 years of bad right now, though. And listen, I count some of these as fun seasons, but listen, lost in the first round. This is the Derrick Rose years. Lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, lost in the first round, lost in the conference semis, lost in the first round, lost in the conference semis. That's called the Atlanta Hawks. That's you did what the Atlanta Hawks did with Kyle Korver and Al Horford and Jeff Teague. Like, I get it. Sometimes you run into the buzzsaw. They ran into LeBron. You ran into LeBron. But it seems like, and even if let's take the Derrick Rose years out, because I enjoyed the Derrick Rose years. I loved it. You've been to the playoffs twice. You've lost in the first round both times since Derrick Rose has left here. Both times. One of those times you had Dwayne Wade on the team.
Yeah. But you can make the argument that if Rondo don't get hurt and y'all beat Boston.
Okay, you got to the second round. That and a handshake will give you a swift kick in the butt out the door.
Man.
It's just, listen, let me know how y'all feel.
I don't know.
I would say he's closer to the worst. I know what the banners are. But
but after a while, this the thing. After a while, the thing is you can't lean on those banners because those banners was 20 plus years ago.
Banners got a little dust on them. Yeah, I mean, Winky, you stop leaning on the banners. Banners got a little dust on them.
You gotta take it out the attic and just foul.
Would you rather have had a chance or bet it all and run into the buzzsaw that's Miami Golden State Warriors? Here's the thing. If you were putting teams on the court that were competitive and they've just lost to LeBron when Miami and Golden State and all of that was doing that, that'd be different, right? Or if you just didn't like give up over like 6 years to accomplish nothing, that'd be different. I think it's how the Bulls have gone about this as well for a lot of these years. It's just we're going to do the bare minimum. We're going to wait till we find another superstar. The Bulls are waiting to get lucky again. It happened once. The Bulls are waiting to get lucky again.
That's the only draft outside of we traded the pick that I'm like sick at, because we really could have had D Rose, bro.
Hey, which is, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. The funniest thing in the world, and then we got to get up out of here. The funniest thing in the world, though, is that when you hear some of these guys talk about Derrick Rose, bro, you would think that they're talking about Michael Jordan in his prime or Kobe Bryant. I saw an interview today with Raymond Felton, and he started talking about Derrick Rose. And you would swear that this man, when he was talking about the fear that Derrick Rose instilled in other point guards around the NBA, you would swear that he was talking about Kobe Bryant. He said, I watched a lot of dudes just drop out like flies. I can't go tonight.
Norris Cole said they had the D Rose flu.
It's so, me and Hayes were talking about this. I was like, hey, you probably do get a ring with Derrick Rose, and maybe that probably changes this whole conversation. If he can stay healthy, you probably get a ring. But it's just so funny, like hearing these mugs talk about a healthy Derrick Rose, because like you hear about Brandon Roy, like Brandon Roy was a dog. You hear about like T-Mac was impossible to guard.
Yeah.
But you don't hear like we was ducking this man. Bro, you don't hear like literally I would go into stadiums and dudes would be healthy the next day. Like, what happened to you? Oh, I had that 1 day flu. Like, you got that 1 day flu every time Chicago come to town. I'm trying to figure out, hey Tony Parker, why you so sick? What's going on? Why you only get sick when Chicago's in town?
Night, I'm not even gonna lie. That night they played the Spurs and the UC, that man, I watched that man drop 44 on Tony Parker.
Oh yeah.
After that, the man left in a I can't remember the card, but it was him, Luol Deng, C-Bulls, and Joakim Noah. After I think the game went in the OT, bro, they came out. It was so lit. They dapped everybody up.
Yeah,
that was like the most lit experience, bro. Because he dropped 44 on Tony Parker head that night, bro.
Bro, he went on
everybody lost their mind, bro.
He went on an absolute tear. Everybody, it's so funny now because like people just his injuries didn't allow him to sustain it. And but if he could have, bro, everybody's favorite point guard that was in that era was getting cooked by Derrick Rose.
He cooked them all in the same week, though.
I'm just talking about like on a consistent basis. If you was an elite point guard, he was on you.
He cooked them in a 2 week span, bro. I remember, bro. Ricky Rubio came in. They said Ricky Rubio was nice. He got Ricky Rubio out of here.
Yeah.
After that, you played Darren Williams. He got Darren Williams out of here when Darren Williams was at his height. Chris Paul got out of here.
Yeah.
Every single person. I think he dropped John Wall off twice.
Bro, he was killing
in
John
that
Wall.
same week.
He was killing John Wall. I remember when everybody was starting to get on Kyrie's train, everybody was like, I think Kyrie got Derrick. I think he better. I think, man, Derrick had come back from injuries. Derrick had come back from injuries and was still cooking them.
Yeah, I watched him cook Tony. Him cook Tony.
No, he cooked Tony. He dropped 44 on Tony.
I was there that night. I was there. I watched him cook Tony.
Let's see. Derrick Rose.
Your favorite rapper's favorite. Somebody had to say it. Like, bro, he was really nice. He was that night. And
this one giving me modern day stats on this one.
I truly like when that Bulls Heat rivalry was coming up, because I knew that we was always gonna get their best shot,
He dropped 29. Oh no, he did. He dropped 42 on his head. 42, 5 and 8 on 64% shooting.
Yeah.
Hey, they played him twice that season. He dropped 38 the first time. Hey, dog, Derrick was different, bro.
Yeah.
If
Derrick was different,
Derrick saw you on the court, he was going at you, bro. I'm sorry. Like that mug. It's just funny hearing people talk about him, bro. It really is.
Derrick was.
When I hear people talk about Derrick, it's like they talk about him in like the Jordan sense. Like people was scared to say something to Jordan because you didn't want to hurt. You didn't want him to get pissed off.
And
that's how they talk about it. And I'm not saying that they're the same or none of that, but it's crazy to hear that about him.
Yeah. The crazy part is I just remember him and Russ was coming up at the same time. And I would always say, like, yo, cause I really thought like coming up, like Rose and Russ was like this, but it was just a different fluidity to like Rose's game that just you couldn't like bro, I ain't never seen another like there's floaters,
bro,
there's floaters, but then there's D Rose floater, bro.
Hey, that year D Rose gave that man
like
Russ.
it's
D Rose gave that man Russ 26 points,
bro.
28 points.
Yeah.
He did it on 56% shooting.
Russ, my dude.
Hey, I love Russ. That's my guy. He has 7 assists in both games. Jesus, that must.
Man.
That boy was different, bro.
It was a different time.
Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. If you haven't done so, please hit the like button. If you are in here, if you're on the Twitter side, hit that retweet, man. Share this video. I appreciate everybody who's come through, who's coming back. We are back on YouTube. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us back over here on YouTube. For Stefan the Don, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Hold on, let me see. Let me check on this as well. I forgot to see where this poll ended up. Pause. That's crazy. That was wild.
That is crazy. Yeah, now that one.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah,
71% saying Jerry Reinsdorf closer to the worst owner in Chicago sports history than the best. So take that for what you will. He doesn't care. He's making his money. As always, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. One love. See red. Bear down.